let me just say at the outset, that was a tragedy what happened in Florida to Mr. Martin. I think we can all agree. And I think it's despicable that anyone, regardless of their political affiliation, would try to gain some perceived political gain by linking us to it falsely, which is what Ms. Finney did. Ms. Finney said on your show in March that we were part of what she called the Typhoid Mary that led to the proliferation of these stand your ground laws in Florida and elsewhere. She associated it with the ALEC, American Legislative Exchange Council.
Yes.
And she said that we were the reason why this happened. No, in not so many words. Sorry. She linked it to us. Let me finish, please, sir. I was told I was going to be on the show to speak to my own mind.
But we have to be accurate.
I know, and I'm going to just finish, and then you can tell me where I'm not accurate.
Thank you.
Okay, so Ms. Finney said we were involved. We weren't involved. Koch is a member of ALEC. ALEC's been around for about 40 years.
Yes.
ALEC has many other corporate members, including MSNBC's parents, General Electric and Comcast. We weren't involved in any way in the stand your ground laws on any level. I'm assuming Comcast and GE weren't either. I don't know. Yeah. But to say we're involved is false. In fact, to say ALEC was involved is false. The law in Florida pre-existed anything ALEC did on the issue. Just because you're a member of a group doesn't mean you're supporting and involved in every aspect of the group. For example, Common Cause, Sierra Club, Center for American Progress, they have many members on the left.
Yes.
They all sponsored a violent, hateful, racist protest outside of our seminar in January 2011 in Palm Springs. I don't think that those groups would support that, all their members.
Karen Finney was using an analogy. And what she said was...
Poor analogy.
But she was using an analogy, and she did not suggest that blood was on the Koch brothers' hands. She didn't suggest that the Koch brothers were personally or directly involved in that. She didn't. However,
I'm sorry.
I repeat...
She called us the Typhoid Mary. She didn't call us the Virgin Mary. She called us the Typhoid Mary.
Do the Koch brothers support stand your ground laws?
I don't know. I've never talked to them about it.
You've never spoken to them about this issue?
That's correct.
Okay. If they don't... then why have they not taken a step like Coca-Cola, like Wendy's and McDonald's, who have walked away following this terrible and tragic death? Why have they not taken an avowed public step to say, well, we haven't disclosed that we support stand your ground laws, but we're making it absolutely clear to America that we want nothing to do with this?
Well, have Comcast and GE done that?
That's not the question I'm asking.
Well, they're your parent. You could ask the same question of your parent companies.
With respect, I'm asking you the question. Hundreds, possibly thousands of people have been trying to speak to Scott Walker in that state. But one of the Koch brothers rings and immediately has, from Scott Walker's perspective, even though it's an imposter, a very cordial and a very warm conversation.
Well, it wasn't David Koch to begin with, so this is an entirely false premise.
Well, it's not, because Scott Walker believed it was.
And Scott clearly shows he didn't know who David Koch was, or he wouldn't have taken the call. So I don't understand your question at all. It's something we weren't involved with. You may want to get the person, whoever that activist was that made the call, to ask him about it. Our support is based on the fact that we have thousands of employees and assets in the state of Wisconsin, and Wisconsin had a fiscal crisis, and we wanted to see it hopefully get turned around. We follow all the rules on disclosure.
That's not what I'm asking you,
donations,
sir.
And is
transparency.
Right, I understand. I told you what we've donated. You seem to have some facts and figures. Here's the deal. Scott Walker, I wasn't involved in that. He was elected by the people of Wisconsin. There's going to be a recall election.
Yes.
As far as who contributes and who doesn't contribute, I think both sides play by the same rules, the left and the right. And the reality is, we are very open and honest about what our views are. We have been for 50 years. David Koch and Charles Koch. The book I just gave you lays out Charles's beliefs.
I'm very grateful for the book.
Right, I want to finish my answer. We've been very open about our positions, which are limited government, free markets, right, individual liberty and freedom, the Bill of Rights. We've held those beliefs for a long time. For 47 years, those weren't an issue, but apparently our political opponents object to them, and they try to insert us into every story.
How much are you contributing
to Bashir?
Knowledge? Which congressional seats are the Koch brothers planning to bombard with money?
Bombard with money? That's a loaded question. Don't know. I'm not here to talk about that. I will say, though, Mr. Bashir, the way that your network has handled issues with us, the way that a lot in the far-left media have handled issues with us, attacking us even when there's no basis, like with the Trayvon Martin issues, that situation, that has led to death threats against our owners. Charles and David Koch have received phone death threats, they've received email death threats, internet death threats. This is where this leads. It's irresponsible.
So if I may just...
I mean, are you okay with that?
No, I'm not, and I myself have been the victims of repeated death threats on email and telephones. We see their names emblazoned across wonderful theatres like at Lincoln Center for the New York Ballet, medical centres where they're very open, but we don't know much about what they do. So here's another question.
Well,
for
they
example,
run a great American company with 50,000 people.
We know about
diverse
that,
manufacturing.
indeed.
They make things in the USA.
So the fact that we have been begging for Mr. Charles or Mr. David Koch to come onto our broadcast, indeed many of my colleagues on this network have invited both individuals to any number of interviews. The fact that they refuse to do so is purely because they're frightened of being attacked. Is that it?
No, well, first, they're running a business. They're busy doing that.
So are many other people, sir.
Well, let me finish my... Do you want an answer, or you just want to keep interrupting me?
No.
Okay, thank you. They're running their business. It's a full-time job. They work every day of the week, basically. The other reality is, quite frankly, their ideas are what's important to them. Their personalities, that's not what they do. And the final thing is, quite frankly, coming on NBC, I don't know that they feel that they get very fair treatment given what's happened in the past.
You mean they get asked questions?
They get asked unfair questions. They get accused of being a typhoid Mary that led to the tragic shooting in Florida. That type of thing. That's what I'm referring to.
Okay. Well, Mark Holden, you've come on. We're absolutely delighted that you did so. I would welcome you back anytime. Thank you for your gift of a book. And also, would you please convey on behalf of myself and every one of my colleagues that anchors a show on this network that we would welcome Mr. Charles or Mr. David Koch at any moment at their convenience.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, Martin.
Thank you, sir. Stay with us.